We are Splash, a free youth arts workshop. Today's class is titled Black Madonna in Charcoal.
Hi, hello everybody, how you doing? Hi, this is Charlie Newton here with Splash Art Class. So we're going to have one more art class today. Splash is a free art school for kids who, maybe can't afford to take art classes. So we have been talking about charcoal drawing, and in the last class we drew with Conte, and we drew on a mixed medium pad, which was 90 pound, it's rough textured. So today we're going to draw on regular drawing paper. This is going to be hot pressed, so it's going to be smooth texture. And I want to show you, I'm going to use some, if I can find it, I'm going to use my pastels today. Pastel charcoal. Hold on just a minute, let me go find it. It's over there. Okay, so I have several different things. A lot of young artists like to use vine or willow charcoal. It's a very soft charcoal. So it's like burnt wood. So they come like this. It breaks very easily, but it's very soft, and you can blend it very easily. And I may sketch with that. And here's a thick one. I'm going to use a black pastel. But I may sketch with the willow charcoal. And who knows, I may go back in with some Conte. Have some white Conte, some brown, reddish brown Conte here. So today I'm going to turn a photograph into a picture of the Madonna with Chow. And I think I'll start off by sketching with my vine charcoal. So once again, here's some thick charcoal, thick block and a thin block. It's very soft, so it may break. And as you can see, it's already getting on my fingers. So I'm going to do a sketch. And you can see I can sort of almost erase that with my fingers if I want to. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of sketching in the large shapes first. This is going to be her head, and her shoulders, and the baby's head. It's going to be around in there. Well, or lower. So when I sketch, I just approximate where I think everything may fall, and then I make changes when it's necessary. So we're looking at this figure from sort of underneath, from a kneeling position. We would be kneeling. So it's sort of underneath. Excuse me. So well, these are lines for, I'm trying to find the center of her face. And so you can sketch it in. I can wipe it up like that if I need to. So here we go. Now there was a time when I was young, I would have sketched this with a pencil first. And you know, that presents its own problems. Sometimes you can't get rid of the pencil lines. So would be the front of her face. She's in a 3/4 view, and we're looking from a kneeling position. And so so her face turns back here, right in here. Your face begins to turn back. Right, really, the skull turns back right here, but there's an eye socket here. And you can see the eye fitting into that socket there. And it begins to turn back around here because that skin folds over. As you can see, look how dark. This is actually this vine charcoal. I call it vine charcoal or willow charcoal. You can see it goes on very heavy, and this is smooth texture paper, soft. So, as usual, I'm drawing larger than I anticipated. And I always tell Splash kids, draw big. It's a good habit. So her head is also tilted slightly. And that's why this angle here. It's a natural tilt of the head. When you look at people, you'll see there's some things that the human body, there are some natural positions. that people get into these positions when they are modeling for a photograph, when they want to take a picture, or even when they're modeling for artwork. It's hard to get them into a natural position. So I'm trying to figure out where the ear belongs. I'm going to use the bottom of that eye to the chin. So it looks like the back of the ear is back here somewhere. It looks like it's too far back, but I'm going to find out in just a minute. So we use measurements because sometimes the eye really fools us. So now I'm doing a contour in a sense. I'm touching the paper. I'm imagining that I'm touching the paper. She has a small ear, so I'm going to make it small. I'll make the ear too tall. That's going to be the bottom. So you see how I'm sketching, I'm still making changes, just sketching. So I'm going to use the vine charcoal, and then I'm going to go and use the soft pastel to make it darker. The vine charcoal, this looks like a steel gray. So I'm using these soft charcoals and smooth paper so that you can see what it looks like when you blend with pastels or soft charcoals, as opposed to the Conte or hard charcoal that we used last time. A lot of the charcoal will come up. If I stood the paper up, let's see, it's not quite like pastels, but the pastels would actually fall down the paper. So this would need to be sprayed. This is a black Madonna. I'm trying to decide right now as I'm drawing what her hair is going to do. You know, a lot of people, a lot of young ladies and old ladies are not happy with their hair. And I think they forget, they're not proud of, they don't have that pride. When I was coming up, we had black pride, a lot of pride. So we loved our hair. We knew that our hair was different, and we loved it. We didn't want, at that time, there was a lot of afros. I came up in the day of afro, and I still like that because I think you ought to be proud of who you are. And so this is why I'm doing her hair short. I'm giving her short hair. So all my pictures, hopefully, I want to celebrate the color of my skin. I want to celebrate who I am and who we are as a people. So art can have meaning. Art don't have to have meaning. It can just be beautiful. But I think the majority of serious artists that I've met I mean, really serious artists for real. I'm not just not talking about artists who are just concerned about making money. I'm talking about serious artists, art for art's sake. Their art usually have some type of meaning. Either they there's a certain love for art and what art is, and respect for it. And that's what we have at Splash. We have a love for the art form and respect for the art form. So that's why we're teaching you drawing techniques. It takes work. It's not something that you can do overnight. And it's still difficult for me to do. And if it wasn't difficult, I probably wouldn't be interested in it. It's your ability and tenacity, kids, to tackle difficult things, problem solving. That's what's going to make you a good artist, because art is kind of like math, really. You're using the same philosophies, if you will, a way of thinking that you would if you were trying to solve a math problem. The secret about drawing babies, they have huge heads. So this is the back of the baby's head I'm drawing. I'm actually drawing the folds in her shirt, her blouse. Guess the baby will be maybe sucking a bottle. Notice my charcoal, it now has a point because I've ground it down. You can use a pad. You don't actually need a pad with this vine charcoal, willow charcoal. You don't need a pad with it, a sandpaper pad. But with the other charcoal, you put a point on it using a sandpaper pad. I had one last time. See if I can find it. It's still sitting there. It is. So if I wanted to, I could use this pad with the charcoal. But this charcoal is so soft, I don't need a pad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean this area out. I decided to put a bottle here, so I don't need this line here. And I'm going to draw some fingers. So my plan, you always need a game plan. My plan is to blend what I have here, then go back on top with some regular pastels. And if that don't work, I'll use the Conte. I'm trying to decide now with these marks where to stop drawing. Okay, I think I may want her hand in there. The lady's hand, the mother's hand. I'm gonna make her hand large and strong. See, I put her thumb here and I changed my mind and decided to drop her thumb down. So you can look at some of the paintings by the old masters. If you observe the paintings under ultraviolet light, you will see where they made changes. Made a lot of adjustments. So if the masters had to correct their art, I guess we're going to have to correct ours too. So I made her hand larger than life, larger than it would normally be, to express in my mind. I like to draw black women's hands large. I probably made her hand too large, but that's okay. I'm going to keep her hand large and change wherever else I need to change. The big hands, for me, speak about strength, and the strength that it has taken, that black women have, and the strength that it takes to raise black children in America. It takes a lot of strength, superhuman, supernatural strength. No other culture has needed the type of strength to last for 400 years. And to still be able to smile. This is International Women's Month, and I'm celebrating the black woman. Let me put her other arm here. Okay, so now I've set up the drawing. So last time we talked about using, I'm going to use some, I think I'll use a paper towel. Oh, Andrew, could you hand me that, a Kleenex? I want something softer than this. Kleenex, please. Yes. Right over here. Kleenex. Okay, we're going to start arguing. On camera. Thank you. So you see how this, I'm barely touching the paper because it's all coming up onto the Kleenex. But I can get some good gradations. See that? Remember, I'm going back with a darker. I'm going back with this. But I'll set my picture up so that the grays in her skin would make you think about, you know what, I'm just going to use my fingers for this. And the reason why is because I know how to use my fingers. I have more control with my fingers. Now you would want to make sure your fingers are clean. Now I have to clean my finger off. I want to do that part. So you see, it just like painting, I'm going through stages. Now we're not going to see too many of the lines on this picture. And that's why I wanted to use the soft charcoal so that you can see what's possible. Now I'm probably going to leave some lines because that's just my style. But most of the lines will not be seen. I also brought some white charcoal. Right. Oh, let's see. Well, I also had some pencils, charcoal pencils, white charcoal pencils. Maybe I didn't bring them in here. I don't know. A brown box. I don't need it now anyway, but I may need it in the future. Let's see. So I may leave some of these lines, you know, just, yeah, who knows. But you can see how blending now, it makes sense to blend with your finger or with a stump. I actually have more control with my fingers than I do with a stump. So look what I'm doing. I'm going back over what I've blended to make it darker. So art is a process. So you can indicate detail, how detailed, the more you do this. Now, this is a short drawing, so I'm not going to do too much of that today. See how I went back with the line? So I can get a variation of grays by doing this. Probably should use my stump now. So just so that you can see. So a note about sketching. This picture, the picture that I have already laid in, is telling me what to do. So it becomes easy. After you put that first sketch down, then it becomes easy. Now, all I'm doing is just making adjustments that I see need to be made. Like I changed the shape of the baby's head just then so that it will say baby when people look at this picture. It's going to read as a baby. Just about changing that shape. By putting this dark shade here and making it, rounding it off here, see, curving those lines, it helps the eye imagine the head as being round. I'm going to flatten the baby's head a little bit there. That's a little change. So I'm making adjustments. The picture is never finished until you say it's finished. So you're always making adjustments. So I'm still using the vine charcoal. These lines, these hash marks are curved. They're not straight lines because her arms are round. Nobody have flat arms. Now I don't have to blend these marks that I'm making, but I am blending them because that's the theme for today is blending on uh, hot pressed paper. Okay, now I could just use only the willow charcoal because this would need to be sprayed in anyway. And with the willow, you can see I'm laying down and picking back up. See, going back in, and there's a type of balance that's achieved by only using the willow. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to use a little bit of Conte for the details around the eyes. Using the corner of the Conte. Hope my head is not in the way, but if it is, I'm sorry. Now what I'm going to do is, this is the perfect opportunity to show you. I'm going to put a point on this charcoal. So I'm twisting the charcoal. And this is the hard Conte. Yeah, I knocked the excess off in the garbage can. I remember I learned to draw. I drew with charcoal in high school, but I didn't know how to use charcoal. But as a freshman at UTC, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, in drawing class, we always practiced with charcoal. And I say that's where I learned to draw. His name was Mr. Chapman, who was a fantastic teacher. Fantastic drawing teacher. I'm blessed to have had him. So I'm putting in the darks with this compressed charcoal, but I'm waiting to use this bad boy right here. I couldn't find my large blending stump, but the stump I'm using here is a proper blending stump. It's different than these student grade stumps. They're a little bit too hard. I don't know. They don't work well for me. So now I'm going back into my drawing to do a few little details. Now this compressed charcoal is not as soft as the vine. So these lines are going to stay. pretty much. So as you can see, I'm doing detail now. And the reason why I'm using the compressed to do charcoal is because it's thin. And so you can see when I use my compressed charcoal, you can see the difference in the blackness, the darkness of it. So what I'm trying to do is set the picture up for the coup de grace. So I'm drawing fast. You wouldn't draw this fast. I'm drawing fast because of our time restraints. And you would spend more time looking. So the last thing I'm going to do is go back with the very soft block charcoal, the large block. So I'm trying to get the picture ready for that. And you know, all artists, we have our styles, our stylistic things that we do. And my style, since I'm eclectic means that I use a lot of different styles. I don't stick to one way of doing things. And that's why I believe that that's the value of my teaching you, because I am eclectic. I don't have just one way of seeing and just one way of doing things, which is, you know, for selling art, the art galleries don't like that. But for doing art and teaching art, it's very useful. So I'm saying that to say this. I already have an idea. What I'm going to do with the black is I'm going to express myself with this black. So it's not actually technically something that you might want to do. It's not the only way to do it. This just has to do with the way I'm drawing, my personal way of doing things. And so you don't have to do it this way, what I'm going to do, but you get a chance to see a possibility. And I don't think I'm going to explain it because I don't know if I can anyway. But I'm getting ready to finish the drawing, and I don't want to put too much in it. Remember, I always talk about only put into your art, your drawing, your painting, what's necessary, and leave out stuff that's not necessary, that's unnecessary, if you can. Okay. So just for some fun, now I can have some fun. I'm actually going to, I need to put something in my clothes on my lap so that it's about to get real messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the paper off of this, and then I'm going to break it. Isn't this awesome? I know you're going to enjoy this because it's dramatic. minute, I'm going to take a chance, take a risk, make a. So this charcoal, this pastel is just sitting on top of the paper right here. You might be able to see it. It's very soft. Now here's the wrist. What I'm trying to do is make a statement with the shadows. I'm trying to make a bold statement with the shadows. That's why I'm taking this wrist. As you can see, this charcoal is so soft I can blow it. See that? So when I start doing stuff like this now, for me, there's no difference in drawing and painting right now for me. So I still don't know if this is going to work. I think it is though, but this is a risk to be so loose with the charcoal. For me though, loose drawings and paintings are a little bit more pleasing for me than tight drawings and paintings. Okay, so I'm going to go back over this. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser in just a minute. I'm going to shake the loose charcoal off of this paper, the loose pastel, the residue that's left. I'm going to shake it off the paper, and then I'm going to spray the paper as well. So I have a lot of residue. look at my fingers. So I'm going to clean them somewhat. I put a little water on my finger. I want to clean it. And now I have my garbage can here. I'm going to shake, let it fall off. Okay, now I'm just going to go back with my kneaded eraser. And put a few little highlights. Okay, it's about that time. Making the line of the baby's jaw a little bit more prominent so that you can see it. Some of the baby's hair. Okay, I'm going to stop that right there. I'm going to leave that right there because I could work on it a couple of more hours easily. Okay, so I just want you to see what it would look like to blend with your fingers, not using a lot of lines. So you see I have some lines in this that's prominent, but I'm letting things run together, allowing the head to just disappear in the shadows, into the shadows, and using willow charcoal, what I call vine charcoal, and pastels. All right, what do you think? I'm just going to tone her shoulder down a little bit right there. One more class in the bucket, in the can. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed watching. So you see some things you can do. Look at my fingers. I used to walk around UTC's campus with dirty fingernails and dirty fingers, and people used to look at me like, ooh, he's dirty. But they didn't know, and I didn't care, that I had been practicing drawing in art class all morning. So it makes your fingernails dirty, but it's worth it. It's all worth it. Please join me next time. Remember, our classes are Tuesday and Thursday on Facebook from 5 to 6 and Saturday from 11 to 12. Until next time, remember, art is for everyone. Bye-bye.